guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be setting up my bullet journal for the first month of 2018. It is so crazy that it's already the end of 2017. For me, this year has just flown by. I can barely remember what I've even done. It feels like I've just started. But here we are, and I'm going to be setting up for January. So I know that lots of people like to get new bullet journals for the new year, but I am sticking with my current favourite and what I've been using for the past couple of months, which is the Baron Fig Confidant Notebook in charcoal. I will have it linked down below in the description as usual, because I've only got around halfway through this and it feels like such a waste to not use it, and I love it so much anyway, and yeah, so we're sticking with this bad boy for now. Before I hand you over to the voiceover, this is going to be my last video before Christmas, so I just wanted to quickly wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So I'm starting by drawing out a yearly calendar for 2018. I'm sure you've all seen a calendar like this before, so I'm not going to go into any detail on how I set this out because it is pretty self-explanatory. The reason that some of these earlier spreads are penciled out is because it was the first time that I'd done them in this bullet journal, so I wanted to make sure that I got the calculations right beforehand so the video wasn't too long. But I still managed to get the calculations wrong, as you will see, because the last row on the yearly calendar is further down than the others, but let's just ignore that. So for January, I decided to go for a blue and grey colour scheme, and I actually really liked how it turned out. The colours complemented each other really well, and I thought it looked very nice. So on the right hand side, I decided to draw out a more decorative calendar for January, and these first two spreads are mainly just to break up my bullet journal and make it clear that from here on onwards, these spreads are all for 2018, because as I said, I am using the same bullet journal as I did for 2017, so it's just to make it clear. So at the top there, I'm drawing out a big 2018, and you can't really see it because of the exposure, but I then shaded it in with blue gel pen, obviously to fit with my blue colour scheme. Now I'm setting up a new spread which you won't have seen before on my channel, and this is my master task spread. So I'm drawing out 12 boxes each for a month of the year, and basically this is a to-do list for the main things that you need to do in each month, but you're not quite sure when you're going to do them yet. So for example, if I were to do June, I would write my mock exams, because that is the main thing that I have going on in June. And then on the right hand side, we have a page for my New Year's resolutions, but I'm not going to write them in this video because I am planning on doing a whole video on my resolutions for 2018, so do look out for that if you want to know what they are. Now I'm setting up my two main January calendars. So as usual, I do this every month. I am setting up a calendar for my personal life and then a calendar for my school life, just because I like to keep the two things separate, and as a result I just find it easier to keep on top of everything. Now I'm setting up my YouTube video tracker, so once again, like the other two spreads, I'm doing a calendar down the side of the page, and then I'm splitting it into two columns, a column for when I'm going to film videos and a column for when I'm going to upload videos. And then on the right hand side, I just have a super simple spread where I'm going to write down any YouTube video ideas that I have for the new year. Now I'm setting up my Align a Day spread, which once again I set up like a calendar, and this is just to write down anything that happened that day. Then on the right hand side we have my memory spread, which is the simplest spread on the planet. Now I'm setting up my habit tracker, this time doing a horizontal calendar, and then writing down all the things I want to track on the left hand side, and I do add to this throughout the month. I then separate out a little bit at the bottom for my review of the month, just to write down what went well, what didn't go well. Now I'm setting up my study tracker, which once again I set up like a calendar, and then at the top I just write in the hours, and this is just to track for how long I was working each day. Now I'm setting up my expenses tracker, so I just draw out a big table and separate it into 3 sections, a section for my debit card, a section for cash and a section for savings, and this is just to track how much I'm earning and how much I'm spending that month. Then on the right hand side we have my first homework spread for when I go back to school in January. Pretty self-explanatory, you can see what I'm doing, I just write down what homework I have. Now we move on to the weekly spread for the first week of January. I'm using my typical rectangular spread, so I'm just creating 8 rectangles, 7 for the days of the week, and the 8th just for a little calendar and just for any extra notes. As you can see, my spreads for 2018 are very similar to my ones for 2017, and this is purely because there is no real reason for me to change them. This system has worked really well for me, and therefore I'm going to continue doing it. It's very practical and it's very minimalistic, and that is exactly what I like about it. So now I'm just flicking through all those spreads that I just set up. Feel free to pause the video and have a longer look if you'd like. Also, if you do decide to recreate any of these spreads or take inspiration from them and you upload a photo of it to Instagram, then be sure to tag me in it. Both my Instagrams will be linked down below in the description because I'd love to see what you guys create. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to like, subscribe and follow my social media, which will be linked down below in the description. Bye guys!